We are live. Welcome to Thursday's training. I'm your host, Adavid. Co-host today is Kim Buckingham. Got some notes here, going to try to follow them. Kim, again, thank you so much for joining us today. As Kim mentioned in the beginning before we started our recording, who was it, Kim, that introduced you to the text that we're going to be talking about today, Ninja Selling?
So Claudia actually was the one that recommended the book for me.
All righty. So Claudia, we're going to kudos back to Claudia for recommending it. And Kim, just tell me, we spoke yesterday and you shared some things with me about your just basic takeaways from this book. If you just kind of share a little bit of your basic takeaways from the book.
So basically what I really like about this book is for everybody, all different types of personalities. Even if you're an introvert, this book is for you. I think the title of the book is kind of misleading because it's a different approach to sales. And yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely. I like what she says there, an introvert. So let's talk a little bit. Let's get right into Ninja Selling. The author is Larry Kendall. So here's what the book looks like. It's a butterfly landing on some bricks, some stones there. I don't know if Amber's going to do another giveaway today. Maybe so. I don't know. But Larry Kendall is the author. And Larry's got a little bit of an interesting story. If I just crack this right on open, I highlighted a couple things I want to bring to your attention. In first grade, he developed or contracted encephalitis, giving him paralysis on his one leg and slurred speech. He was already an introvert, so this just really pushed him away from being around, talking, just being that interactive kid that most kids would like to be. Of course, he's picked last on the sports teams, and so this is kind of how Larry gets started. He's the kid that a lot of kids make fun of. Okay, we'll just say that. We wouldn't do that, right? But a lot of kids make fun of Larry, right? Well, Larry's career takes him forward, and he gets into real estate, and he gets mentored by some of the greats like Robert Kiyosaki. So that's just kind of some of the people who kind of help mentor him. And he begins this journey of real estate. And he realizes that, there's a different method to what we're doing in real estate. He started with some trainings, and some of those trainings that he first went to was all about deception. All right. You as a salesperson are really just trying to deceive people to do something so you can make some money. It's interesting because I had a conversation with someone yesterday who wants to get into real estate. And she said that she was suggested not to get into real estate because real estate professionals are unethical and untrustworthy, and she's an honest person, so they wouldn't expect her to do that. And I was like, whoa, step back. Like, what are you hearing? Like, who's telling you these things? It's a misconception of what real estate agents are and do. Maybe there are some, but of course that's not what we do. And so this was kind of the idea that Larry had, is like, these real estate guys are trying to take advantage of people. Well, fortunately for him, he got mentored by some really great people who showed him what we as real estate agents are actually trying to do. And we're trying to solve problems and help people, right? That's our goal. But in doing so, there's just all these approaches of how you do this. How do I make money? How do I get clients, so on and so forth. And they took and broke it down into four basic principles called in the Ninja Selling. All right, let's talk about. Look, I don't think we're going to get to all four of them. All right, honestly, there's a bunch in here. Maybe we'll leave the last one off so to give you a reason to go and maybe grab this book yourself. So let's talk about the first one. The first one is the principle of mastery, and Kim's going to touch on that in a minute. I'm just going to go over the four, and then we'll get into them. The second one is stop selling, start solving. All right, personal mastery. Stop selling, start solving. The Ninja business strategy. It's a key one right there. We're going to definitely cover some high points on that one. And then last but not least is connect and communicate. Those four right there. That's everything. I'll just tell you, I'm not really an avid reader like I'd like to be, but if you could see this book, I literally read like most of this book in the last 3 days. Last 4 days, I should say. I ate this thing up, and I know you will too once you grab it. The chapters are short, and the information is just so powerful. So we're going to dive right on into this personal mastery that Larry's talking about. And I'm going to let Kim take the lead on that, and she can just share with us her takeaways on personal mastery. And then, of course, I'll interject as well.
So what I took away from it was the 5 daily habits that he said. One was start your day with gratitude. 2, show up and don't open your email. And I say social media. He didn't say that, but that's something that I get trapped into. 3 is write 2 personal notes a day. 1, it feels good for you writing the notes, and 2, it feels good for the person receiving the notes. And if you don't know what to say, some things that you can start off is saying like, thank you, congratulations, or I was thinking of you. What else? 4 is focus on your hot list, and calling those people daily that are thinking about buying or selling within the next 3 to 6 months. And the last one is focus on your warm list. Those are people that don't know they want to sell, but you do because you're a ninja seller. And so the way that you would know is if maybe they had a change in job that was far away, or they had a baby, or they have empty nesters.
Excellent. So what I want to do is I want to jump on that first part that Kim shared. We're talking about personal mastery here. The first thing, right? And that's gratitude. Starting your day. How you start your day. Kim, you told me something. There's a way that you felt after starting this book and starting the process of this book. How did you describe that to me?
So what I did was the 30-day gratitude and affirmations. I did that for 30 days, and I felt so amazing that those 30 days that I did that. And I also, I remember good things happening to me during that process.
Okay, so she started with a mindset that she got up in the morning and she followed a routine. Routine. All right. And because she followed that routine, it changed her mindset, right? Therefore, projecting out to others, happiness, joy, peace, all that. I labeled this training ninja selling, I think during the holidays, maybe what we called it, right? We're living in a time right now where while it's the holidays, a lot of people are not actually all that festive and happy just because of kind of what's been going on. So we as real estate professionals have an opportunity right now in the next 3 weeks as this holiday season is coming, starting and closing and ending all of that, to be able to bring a positive attitude, right, to all those around us. Yeah, it's COVID. Yeah, things are tough, whatever going on, but why are you so happy? Why are you excited, right? That energy feeds over into others and helps them to feel better as well, right? So I want to talk about this. First thing you start in the morning is gratitude, being thankful. So I don't know what your morning routine looks like, but this is, okay, I'll just say this. We tend to want to reinvent the wheel. We tend to try to, okay, well, they say it this way. Let me switch it this way. I would suggest to you, follow the pattern first, and then maybe make some alterations after your 30 days. Start your day with gratitude in the morning. Give thanks for what you have and for those around you. Positive reading. I don't know what you're reading. I don't know how you're starting your day. If you started here on your phone, don't pick this up first thing in the morning. Find something positive to read. All right. Second step there. Affirmations and visualizations is focus on a goal as if you have already achieved it. Already achieved it. Next year, how much do you want to make in sales? Focus on that goal as if you've already achieved it. I mentioned that you could, okay, sorry. I mentioned that you could potentially make $250,000 next year, right? That's what we said in the email, right? It's possible if you follow this system. The people who follow this system have accomplished these things, and I want us to be able to do the same. It's interesting because somebody always says something that's like, well, who's the person that did it? I want to meet him, right? I'm telling you right now, All right, you're looking at the guy next year who's got 250K in GCI. Like you're looking at him, right? I'm claiming that. That's me right here. That's you. Claim it yourself as where, and then of course write 2 personal notes. That's the start of every single day. I want you to do that every single day. 2 personal notes. Kim already said what you can do. You said thank you. I was just thinking about you. Write a note. I'm gonna check what these look like. Okay. See, I subscribe to Brian Buffini, and so I got Google Gobs of these. I get 50 a month. So they look like this. If you need some personal notes, I didn't send them all out every single month. Something simple. Every single morning, 2 personal notes. You're reaching out, you're connecting with your sphere, your database. Okay? That's the first thing I want to talk to you about. All right. Let me jump over to, okay, we're going to talk about this guy named Jack, page 38. Okay, let's talk about Jack real quick. All right, this is what happens with mindset. All right, here we go. So Jack, get to his story real quick. Boom. 38, page 38. Come on, buddy. Here we go. There it is. So here's Jack. I'm not going to read it from the book because that would just be boring. I'm going to tell you the story. All right. Jack worked 25 years, police officer. Retired, had a salary position. Didn't actually retire. He quit. He quit police officer, 25 years, and decided to get into real estate. He wanted to do something different. Tired of chasing bad guys. All right. Okay. So he goes and signs up, gets his real estate, going to start on Monday. On Friday, has an accident and breaks his neck. Doctor comes in and says, you know what, Jack? Good news is you're not going to die. Bad news is you got a broken neck. All right. So Jack has an option. He no longer has a career as a salaried position as a police officer. And he's in 100% commission sales. So where's he going to get money from? What's he going to do? Right. Most people at this point throw in a towel. What am I going to do? Right. Jack says, that's okay. I can still use this ninja system. Despite the cards he was dealt, the text says, Jack earned more than $300,000 his first 12 months in real estate sales and was named Rookie of the Year by the Board of Realtors. He followed these steps. He started out his morning with a routine. All right. First thing right there is how do you start your day? Depicts on how the rest of your day is going to go. All right. So I encourage us to start your days right there. Now there is 8 steps. Where am I at? I'm telling you, the critical piece is the foundation. You know, we're talking about people coming into real estate, wanting to be successful in real estate, and kind of like, what's the model? Because if I can find this model, then I can follow it, and then I can find the same success as someone else. Like, I'll tell you my story. I came in real estate, didn't know anything, didn't ask enough questions, didn't read enough books, right? And really just kind of fumbled around for the first 3 years and somehow survived. Okay. Well, lucky for you, you don't have to do that because we've got the model for you. So this is, again, talking about going rather to the next thing we're talking about in that mindset is the 8 keys to proper programming. Your mind does what you tell it. All right. They break this whole thing down. I'm not going to get into all the details of how they break down your mind and how it thinks and how it operates. But basically what you tell yourself is what you do. So this is the proper mentality. When you say this, say, for instance, I'm overweight. All right. I tell myself I want to lose 30 pounds. That's the improper mentality. The proper mentality is I enjoy weighing 185 pounds. That's my ideal weight. I'm continually telling myself that. And my brain, my unconscious mind will just push me to where I should do those things that are going to help me to be healthy. Next one, improper. I want to list more houses. Improper thinking. Proper thinking. I am grateful I list more than 25 houses a year. You've already claimed it in your mind. You set it up that this is what I'm going to do. I'm already there. Another one here. Many of us probably maybe struggle with this right here. Improper thinking. I want to get out of debt. No. Proper thinking. I enjoy being free and clear. This type of mentality is how we start everything. It's our foundation. He breaks it down into 8 different steps to programming. First is my goals, right? He says, I make sure that I focus on my goal, not someone else's goals for me. If it's not my goal, my non-conscious will fight it. So I've got to make these things go. I got to put it into my mind. Positive, measurable goals. We can talk about that later next week when we get into goal setting. Talking about it in the first person. My goals need to be stated in the first person, I. Present tense. I state my goals in the first person present tense as if it's happening right now. I mean, just boom, there it is. I am grateful. I list more than 25 houses a year. Is that what you want to do? Who would love to do that? Raise your hand. I think we all want to do that, right? Through my eyes, they are sensory specific. I see, hear, smell, feel, taste the experience. So he's talking about a trip to Australia, then he's imagining Australia. What is Australian beach? What do the people sound like that are there, their accents, the smell of the ocean, the sand between your toes. This is the mentality that you're putting yourself into. Then doing this again daily for 30 days, having this routine. And then of course, the last one is the anchor. Anchor reminds us of the goal and puts us in a particular state of mind about it. So those are the 8 steps of programming. You have to program yourself for success. All right, that's where it starts. So moving from there, I've programmed myself how I'm going to be successful. Kim, the next one we're talking about is the stop selling and start solving. Speak to it if it's good. As something you could pull out from there for the stop selling and start solving.
I just want to say something to add something of what you said also. A lot of successful people use that same mindset that you just talked about. I know one was Jim Carrey, and he would just think about, he wanted to make this amount of money and all this, and he would do the same thing. He would visualize it and he would write it down, and that's how he became successful.
I believe he even said like he imagined what it was like cashing that first check of $1 million or whatever it was.
And, he even wrote that check out and saved it. Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
I suggest to you, maybe you write a sample form of your taxes for the end of 2021 with your gross income of $250,000. Go ahead and claim it now. Like set the bar high and achieve it. You can do it. Stop selling. Start solving. This talks about relationships. Can you speak to a little bit about what we're doing with these forward questions, Kim?
Yeah, so basically they say ninjas are the masters at asking questions. They ask questions so that they can see like the pain and the pleasure of people's decision making. They also say don't say do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell a house? They say ask the forward questions. So the forward questions are family. I wrote them down so I don't forget. So things that you can say are like, where are you from? How's your family? The next one is occupation. So you can say like, how's your business doing? The next one is recreation. You can say things like, what do you do for fun? And the last one is dreams. That's like dealing with things that are going to happen in the future. So you could say like, what are your plans for the holiday? And you want to listen for like things that bring them pain or pleasure.
Pain or pleasure. 2 key things there that Kim mentioned is what's happening in someone's life. Pain, that could be, my daughter's going to college, she's the baby, and we're empty nesters. That's pain for someone, but that tells you there could be a future, or there will be a future possible of downsizing from that large 5-bedroom home that they had, right? Pleasure, got a job promotion and my wife is pregnant. Guess what? Probably not going to fit in the condo anymore that your friend lives in, right? They're going to need a home. They're going to need some space. This is what you're listening for when you ask these questions. Let's get back to the basics of real estate. And what they're saying here with these Ford questions, F-O-R-D. So if you drive a Ford, you can't forget. If you drive a Chevy, just change. relationships. It's about building and nurturing relationships. When you sit down and talk to someone, this is a key piece that he talks about in the book, and I didn't write this one down, but it's coming to me now. But when you're having a conversation with someone as a real estate professional, who is doing the majority of the talking? Are you doing the majority of the talking, or are they doing the majority of the talking? I can tell you this: if you're doing the majority of the talking, you're losing. They should be doing what he says in the books, 90% of the talking, meaning you're just simply asking questions, taking mental notes, is what's going on in the lives of these people. Again, our problem is he says, stop selling and start solving. People have problems happening in their lives, and it's our job to be their trusted advisor and advocate to get through these problems. But how can I do that if I'm the one talking? Right? So the next time that the holidays are coming up, right? We're talking about ninja selling during the holidays, right? We're sitting down. It's Christmas Eve. You're with your family. Everybody's there. And someone asks you the question, how's the market? That's the number one question we get asked, right? What's your response? How's the market? What's your response? We had this on our script in the other week. What's your response? How's the market? Somebody tell me. How's the market? I just asked you the question. What are you going to tell me?
Good.
Okay. Claudia says good. We're going. Someone else trying to say something? Is Michael trying to say something?
Depends on if you want to buy or sell.
Okay. Depends on if you want to buy or sell, right?
And what you want to do.
So he says something in this text that's really cool, right? Because typically the response is, are you looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate? He says his response is, the market is interesting right now. What are you looking to do in real estate? Buy, sell, invest. You plant in their seed. Interesting. Oh man, what's interesting going? Am I buying, selling, investing? I don't know. I'm buying. Okay. And so now they get to start giving you information and you're just receiving, as opposed to, oh man, you know what? It's a seller's market right now. There's no inventory out there. Oh my goodness. Like I'm slammed with work, can't even keep up. So I was actually we're just hypothetical. I'm talking to my brother, right? And he was like, well, dang, I was thinking about buying a house. But am I thinking about buying a house now? And am I thinking about buying a house with you? No, because first off, I'm slammed. I'm talking about myself. It's a seller's market and there's no inventory. So I must have missed the opportunity that was there, right? It's gone. Everybody follow me? So the response is you're asking those questions so that they're responding. Then they're feeding you and you're like, okay, I see what's going on. This is how I can help. This is the problem that I can solve, right? Stop selling. Stop talking. And start. We got how many ears? How many ears do we got versus our mouths, right? So we should, at the very least, he says 90% they should be talking. At least you should be listening. What is that? 66%, if that's a third, if we break it down, 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? You should be doing a lot more listening. Again, the 4 questions, if you're taking notes, right? These are just simple, because the thing is always, well, I don't know what to ask, right? So write down this: family and friends, the F, right? For 4. Where are you originally from? Met somebody new. How's the family? What is your son doing? They got a kid, you know what I'm saying? When does your daughter graduate? Oh, you went skiing with the Carrolls? How are they doing? As you're listening to them, you're preparing the response. It says your next question is embedded in their last answer. Stop trying to talk about ourselves. Occupation. Get into what they're doing. Be interested in what they are doing. Like, so I'm what does the guy tell me? He says, I'm an arborist. An arborist? I don't know what an arborist is. What is an arborist? Oh, actually, I know about the plants and trees and so on and so forth. I kind of know what an arborist is. That's why I said that, right? And so, okay, where do you work? What got you started into this? Is that like something that you had dreamed of from the past? Is it like a family business that you went into? Get to know them, okay? Recreation. What do people like to do? Now, of course, we all love talking about what we want to do, but what do they like to do? What do you enjoy doing for fun? You got any trips planned? These are the questions that we're asking. Do you play golf? Do you play basketball? Like, what do you guys like to do? And the last one, which is D for dreams, you wouldn't ask somebody what their dreams are, okay? So just don't do that. Kim already said it. You're asking things like, what are their plans for the holidays? You know, this coming spring, you guys got anything planned for the kids for the summer? You got a big trip planned? Like, what's going? Hey, I know that you got some couple kids. Is one graduating next year? These are their dreams. These are their plans. What's going on with them? You've got to be asking these questions to get to know your friends. What happens to most agents is they get into this habit of a transaction, and then once it's closed, they never talk to those people. So you are basically a transaction. That's the only word I can use for it, right? You come in, processed, out, on to the next. Right. Sad to say, touching into some other portions of the book, and we've talked about this in the past as well, talked about this last week, that 85% of anyone that you work with says that they'll work with you in the future. But only 12% of them do, because we don't follow up, we don't talk to them, we don't maintain communication, right? We don't ask questions, we don't get involved in their lives. So we want to make sure that we are doing that. Everybody follow me there? Any questions so far, what we've covered under what we're talking about here? Everybody's on track. So here we go. Let me, yes. That's what we want to do. There are three types of people out there. This is in the text. Okay, three types of people out there when it comes time to what they will pay for. Okay, 15% of people will always pay the very least possible. These are the statistics. They run the numbers. 15% of people will always pay the very least amount possible for anything, any service, whatever it is. 5% of people will always pay the highest price. They just feel like they're getting the best product out there. 5%. 80% of people will pay what they feel is the best value. Okay, so in your business model, you should be working with what percentage of people based on those numbers? 80, 85, or 100% of people should you be working with? I hope your answer is 85. Leave the 15 alone. They're looking for a discount brokerage. There's a wonderful story in here. A lady who has a discount brokerage. She's been doing discount brokerage forever and ever and ever. She works harder than all of her competition, and she changes her model to a full service, and she just takes off. All right, that's as far as I'll take it. I'll let you read it from the text. But in order for people to pay you what you feel you deserve, you have to have what's called value proposition. Okay? What are you offering? How are you different from the competition? What does it look like? Are you just going to put a for sale sign out, or are you going to do the 3D home tour with the professional photography, with the market analysis every week, with the phone call on every Tuesday for an update? Like, are you going to go above and beyond? Are you able to show that to your clients? So this is actually, that little portion takes us back into what we learned last week, is to listing success. So it's really great, this book here with what we talked about last week, because you can pull all those tools from listing success and you implement them so you have value proposition. So now people are willing to pay you for the service that you render because they see the value there, right? When's the last time you paid for something and you thought that this really wasn't worth it? This was made in, whatever country, I won't name any, right? And it just broke after like 3 weeks, like what the heck is going on here? The same thing with you. People want to feel like they're getting value. When they get value from it, like, oh man, this is fantastic. Rock and roll. So what we've picked up so far is, first, it's a mindset, right? It's starting out there, your morning routine. And I know this stuff kind of sounds like basic maybe, but this is how you are successful. Building a system, save yourself time, energy, and money, right? Building a system. And then, of course, stop trying to sell people. Leave that alone. We want to build relationships, all right? And I'm checking my time, and so we've got to just kind of jump here, okay? We've got to jump to this space right here, and that is your database, okay? Now he goes into some depth here, and I've got it on the screen. I'm going to share it with you because as we've talked about now, you've got your morning, you've got your routine, right? And you see that you've got a great value proposition, right? And you're asking the right questions to people, but to who are these people are you asking these questions, right? So the Ninja Selling has 150 ways to build your database. Yesterday, Felipe talked about it. There's a challenge that's going on currently. And so I'm actually going to share this. Check it out. Okay. As soon as this, are you serious? Okay. So this is a brand new, not a brand new machine, but my machine got a machine had an issue, so I had to get a new one. And apparently my share option isn't working right. Not a worry. I believe I can fix this. Yeah, let's see if I can get it for you guys. Says my desktop doesn't exist. Can you guys see my other screen? No, you can't. I gotta grant access to this bad boy. Hang on a second. That wasn't supposed to happen. Let's see what happens when, oh, there it is right there. Okay, guys, I figured it out. Sorry. That was, here we go. Okay. I think I got this. Come on, work with me. All righty, there we go. I got it. Woo! You guys can see my screen. We survived it somehow. All right. So here we go. 150. I'm gonna send you guys this in an email. All right. So everybody can see it, right? Yeah, Kim's shaking her head. 150 ways to build your database. Now, there are simple questions on here that we all have the answers to. So these are the numbers. Okay, these are the numbers as we're getting into, I'm switching gears into, I don't have everything memorized, guys, yet, but the Ninja business strategy. So this is the nuts and bolts of the whole thing. So you've talked about, okay, great mindset. I got that. Okay, great. I'm supposed to ask these questions. Great. I got that. Okay, great. There's a value proposition. Okay, like how am I going to make this business happen? That's the question, right? So let's get to the nuts and bolts here at the end. You have to have a database. And oh, I got to read this to you. No, this quote right here. This was like, for me, this was the quote of quotes in the book. Okay, the quote of quotes is under building your database. He says, let me just read this little section for you. He says, a survey of 20,000 realtors showed that fewer than 40% had any kind of a database. Less than 40%. Even scraps of paper and business cards in a shoebox counted. But 40% of people didn't have one. Yet 60% had nothing. The 40% with at least some semblance of a database earned 251% more income than the 60% without a database. Is database important? Yeah, okay, here we go. Your database is your most important business asset and is the central nervous system of your business. Here's the quote. Write this down. Remember this. If you don't have a database, you are not serious about your career. You are a hobbyist. I'm going to read that again because y'all, I was like, for me, it was like, boom, like just boom. I've got a database, all right? It's not where I want it to be, but, and I hope most of you do as well. If you don't have a database, you are not serious about this career. You are a hobbyist. I'm gonna leave that right there and let's marinate on that one. I just, boom, right? I just, boom. So here we go. 150 ways to build your database. Okay. Here they go. I'm gonna send you guys. This is a 13-page document. I'll send it out in the email that came out earlier today. So it'll be an attachment that was there. Our response, my mistake, we didn't send it out earlier. What are the names of the members of your family? This is where you start. What are the names of your spouse's family? What are the names of your extended family? Best friend, spouse, best friend, very close friend, spouse, very close friends, children's friends, parents, teachers' names of children, coaches, principals, dentists, doctors, optimists, hairstylists, school bus driver, Sunday school teacher, who cuts your hair, dry cleaning, manicures, facial, who services your car, you buy tires, purchased your last car from, cleans your car, your mailman, who do you know at church, Checker at the grocery store, pharmacist, doctor, spouse's doctor, pastor, rabbi. Who owes you money? I was like, oh, snap. Show enough. You owe me money, better be in my database for sure, right? Because I'm going to try to get that money back, right? Absolutely. Stockbroker, financial planner, who does your taxes, veterinarian, who grooms your pets, favorite restaurant, who owns that? Favorite bartender, who do you play golf with? Who do you ski with? Health club, racquetball, tennis. Who do you go to concerts and movies with? Back in the day when we used to do that. Who is your attorney? Pest control company. Who can fix your roof? Picks up your trash. My goodness, the list just goes on and on, guys. Like the list just goes on and on. We're going to send you this right here because you need to have this. And you're going to take this right here that we have on the screen. And I want you to build your database from this. Why do we say this? Let me show you something. Okay, because there's a lot of ways in which we want to generate business. See if I can get this screen to do what I want it to do. All right, a lot of ways that we generate business. I'm going to stop the sharing of this screen. I'm going to go to the sharing of this screen right here. This is from the text as well. Boom. You guys see another screen there, right? Move this out of the way. Move, buddy, so I can see as well. You guys see a conversions ratio right there? Everybody sees that. Okay. Ninjas work under, or ninjas start working with people where it says personal contact with friends. They don't touch anything above that line. Can you see the reason why? So conversion rate, I got to talk to 2,000 people who are sent 2,000 pieces of mail to get one conversion for cold direct mail. Door knocking, got to knock on 100 doors for one conversion. That's why they don't do it. You know, often it has been talked about so many times, right? About how you don't have to buy this business or these leads. Yes, but we see ourselves so oftentimes, Zillow's making a gang of money. Everyone's trying to sell you leads. Why? Why are you working that when you've got your personal contacts and friends 50 to 1? Ad calls 25 to 1. You got a sign out in the yard 20 to 1. Open houses 15 to 1. Walk-ins 10 to 1. Past buyers 9 to 1. Past sellers 4 to 1. And personal referrals 3 to 2. That's where your business should come from. That's where you build your database. Does everybody follow me there? That's what I want you to focus on for 2021. All we have to do, literally, all we have to do is focus on building the database, building the relationships in that database, and simply working that database. That's it. And here's a number for you. I didn't share this yet. Here's a number for you. Write this down. These are the statistics. All right. These are the statistics. For every one person in your database, all right, $1,000. That's what you can make. So they base it on a database of 250 people. A database of 250 people equals how much in business, in volume, in sales? $250,000. So if next year you only want to do $100,000, how many people do you need in your database? Kim, how many people need in a database if only want to do $100,000 next year? 100, right? I think she said 100. I didn't hear. Yes?
Yes.
100. So get you 100 people. You're at 6 figures. You want to do more than that? 200, 250, 300? That's where it's going to come. The great thing about this is they've already done the work for us. They've already ran the numbers, and they're like, this is what it's going to take. This is what's going to get it done. Let me take you guys to another portion of the book, and Kim was already touching on these right here, and they call it the Ninja 9. So we're talking about the, where's it at? The business strategy. And so let me jump to your 5 daily habits and your 4 weekly habits. This is what you got to do to be successful in real estate as a ninja. 124. Then I'm gonna share with you the power of 8. I'm gonna tell you, it's crazy, dude. Here we go. 5 daily habits. Kim's already talked about these. We've kind of gone over these a little bit. Start your day with gratitude. Number 1. Show up. Don't open your email. Stay on agenda. Okay? Step 2. Step 3, write 2 personal notes if you haven't already done that earlier in the day. Right? Step 4 is focus on your hot list. Now Kim talked about this. Kim, what is a hot list versus what we're going to talk about? Number 5 is a warm list. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So hot list are people that you know want to buy or sell within the next 3 to 6 months.
People that you know that want to buy or sell within the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, so they did a study. These guys do lots of studies, right? And so they studied those people who had recently purchased a home, right? And then they asked them, would you work again with that client, with that particular agent? Absolutely, of course they would. And then they simply just started reaching out to them consistently over a 30-day period of time. And then they re-interviewed those people and they asked them who they would work with. And based on the mailings in the contact they were getting from them, they had changed their mind in a 30-day period of time who they would work with because they were top of mind, they were communicating. So we have to communicate with our sphere on a regular basis. Now that's the hot list, right? What is your warm list, Kim?
So warm list is somebody that doesn't know that they want to buy or sell, but you know that they want to buy or sell by asking those 4 questions.
Spot on. They don't know they want to buy or sell, but because story is told, guy working in somewhere there, Fort Collins, I think is where they are in Fort Collins, Colorado. Okay. So guy gets a promotion and it's Denver's where he's gonna be working. And so he says, hey man, you got congratulations on the promotion to Denver. What are you guys planning to do? Oh, I'm just going to commute. It's only an hour there, an hour back, and I'm going to do it. We're going to stay where we are. Immediately light bulb goes off in his head, warm list, because he thinks he's going to drive an hour there and an hour back 5 times a week, right? Until 6 months goes by and he's like, I've lost my mind, right? So he's on his warm list, right? And so then he has a conversation, 6 months later, say, how's it going, man? He's just like, oh my goodness, this commute is killing me. Bing, 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 bing. I knew that. We got to find a placement. We got to sell our house home, and I need you to get us a realtor in Denver. Boom, puts them on the hot list. You see how that works? But that's because you're having conversations with these people, knowing what list to put them on. True story that's told. Here's another one. Agent makes consistently $100,000 a year. Consistently $100,000 a year. And then just like that, overnight, the next year, she goes up to $250,000 a year. And they go like, whoa, what happened? How are you able to do this? She says, after 9 years of listening to you, I finally started working my warm list. And because of that, I doubled my income because now I'm keeping an eye on those people who are potentially going to buy or sell in the future. Okay? Those are the real numbers out there. You guys, it's at your fingertips. All we got to do is, again, have those conversations. The holidays are here. This is the perfect reason to start talking to people, right? Like, hey, man, what's going on? What you guys doing for the holidays, right? What's your plans for next year? What's happening, right? There it is. So that's your 5 daily habits that you got to do, right? Here is your 4 weekly habits that you got to do, okay? You got to focus on your customer service calls. This is calling people, right? He says that you need to call 50 people a week. Oh my goodness. Oh, how am I going to talk to 50 people a week? It's impossible. It's not just calling 50 people a week. It's any conversation that you are having that you are asking the forward questions. So just mark that you're talking to 50 people a week and you're asking those questions. Okay? 50 people. That's all it takes, guys. Next step. Where am I at? Where's 6 at? Oh, that's it right there. 6.
So, David,
Yo.
quick question. These are just questions just to clarify it all.
Probably in the
You
chat.
don't have you don't have to get every question asked or answered. These are just detailed examples of questions to give reason to reach out to your clients.
Yes. And that's a great question. Thank you for whoever asked that question. Sorry, I didn't have the chat box open. Your goal is to have a meaningful conversation. See, this is the problem, because what paralyzes us as realtors is that you're fearful of calling someone and talking to them, right? Do we say, well, you're fearful? Well, I don't really know what to say. I don't know how they're going to, I don't want to sound salesy. Well, guess what? You're not calling to sell anything. You're calling to see, how is your family? The last time someone called you and asked, how is your family? Did you feel like they were selling something to you? No, not at all. You didn't feel the way at all. When they asked me, how's the job, man? I heard did you move? You know, when your friend calls you and says, you know, I heard you guys got a new position. Did you sound salesy? Not at all. That's what you're doing. You're just listening for pain and pleasure that's going on in their lives so that you know how you can provide a service. And as it works out, they most oftentimes ask you, hey, can you help me with XYZ as far as real estate? And then there you are. You're the trusted advisor to guide them in that process. Okay. Next thing that you need to do is schedule 2 live real estate reviews weekly. 2 live real estate reviews weekly. I'm going to tell you how you're going to do that in just a moment. Okay. Number 8 is, I kind of mixed these up. Schedule 50 live interviews weekly. So I messed that up. I'm sorry. Focus on your customer service calls, was just having those conversations in the morning. Okay. Calling those people. All right. Talking to those who have recently purchased or are in a transaction with you. My bad. So let me flip that back. The number 6 is focus on your customer service calls, working with those people who are currently in escrow, looking to buy a home that you're currently working with. Okay, that's your number 6. Weekly, you got to talk to those people. Don't have someone in escrow selling a home and not talk to them within a week. If they call you and see what's going on, you're failing. Okay, that was the first step for the week. The next one, sorry, I flipped those around on you guys, is the 2 real estate interviews weekly. I'm going to talk to you about that. We got to get to the power of 8 to take you to that step. Number 8 is schedule 50 live interviews. That's, again, just having a conversation with someone with those 4 questions. That's all it is, the very basics right there. And then last but not least is update your database weekly. Okay, I hope you guys are taking notes. I know I'm talking really fast. That's okay. It's recorded. You can go back and watch it as well. Updating your database weekly. Don't have conversations with people and don't take notes, because now you don't know that their daughter is graduated and she's going to UCLA. You call and say, oh, yes, right, your daughter graduated and she's going over to Berkeley. I don't know. You just made up one because you have no idea where she's going. Oh, no, she's not going to Berkeley, dude. She's going to UCLA. Oh, that's right. Yeah, right. Write it down in your database. Here we go. We're going to have to finish up with this one right here because we're already running out of time. And that's going to be the power of 8. So we want to end with this. This is a true story. So this guy, Larry, he meets a guy. Okay. He meets a guy who just purchased a home in his community, right? 2 weeks ago, right? The guy's raving about his real estate agent that took care of him. Absolutely loved the job that she did. Super happy. Cool. But this guy came from another, he came from the West Coast. He came from California or something like that. He's over here in Colorado now. And so what he does is he takes an interest in this guy because he heard about this power of 8 and 8. So he wants to see if it really works or not. He's just sampling it to see if it works. So the first thing after he met this guy, week 1, he sends him a personal note saying, hey, it was nice meeting you. All right. Their sons are in the soccer together. He says, hope I see you on the sideline of the game sometime. Number 2, send him a city map with the new streets and a personal note. I thought you would like a new map of the city. Welcome to Fort Collins. Week 3, sends him a high altitude baking book because it's a new climate, different baking. His wife likes to bake. He found out in that conversation. Boom. Because baking at above 5,000 feet is different from like sea level, believe it or not. Week 4, sends him a newsletter. Says, I thought you'd like a copy of this newsletter. It's full of information about local real estate. If you don't want to receive this, just let me know. Week 5, sends him a brochure on how property taxes work in the county and says, if you're thinking, it says, I was thinking about you to let you know how property taxes work here because you'll be getting a property tax notice soon. He's sampling. This is the first time he did. He's just sampling to see what's going to happen. Now, week 6, sends him the home sales in the Village West where he has lived for the past 12 months. So just showing what's happening there in the community. Maybe you'd like this information. Week 7, makes a phone call to say, hey, man, how you doing? The guy says, I was about to call you because my wife is like, who is this person? I want to meet them who keeps sending you all this stuff. Sets up a luncheon with him, which is week number 8. Come to find out, this guy was the head of a company here in California, needed to move an entire company of 43 some odd people to Colorado. Do those people need housing that are moving from Colorado? I mean, moving from California to Colorado? Boom. He flew this guy to New York. Oh my goodness. I don't even have them all in here. It's like 4 different cities he flew this guy to, helping him as he's buying these little companies and moving these people to Colorado. This all started from the power of what they call the power of 8 and 8 is an 8-week step, okay, of doing that. Sending some item of value and a little personal note. And this, who knows how many transactions they close because of this power of 8. So I say that because what you do, okay, what you do in order to go back to, let me find it in the book real quick. Page 132. Here we go. In order to have your 2 real estate weekly interviews, you start with your database and you stagger it. You do 10 people a week, or you can do less, but about 10 is enough. 10 people a week, okay? And you start there, and you start with the personal note. And then you stagger it out, because what you're going to do is you're going to go through your entire database on this power of 8 and 8, and you're going to be sending them a note, sending them something of value, sending them something of value, sending them something of value. You're going to get to the point where you have to make that step number 7 to make the phone call to see how they're doing. Okay. Once you make that phone call, you're going to set an appointment for lunch or breakfast, lunch, or coffee. All right. Now, here in the COVID world, I don't know, we have to figure it out, but that's the process. COVID won't be here forever, fortunately. All right. That's where those weekly interviews come from. And you can't do your whole database at one time, because you'll get to week 7 and you'll have to schedule 200 luncheons or coffees in a week. That's not going to happen, right? So you stagger it out. So you have 2 interviews a week. That's all you need. And if you stagger it out, you'll be able to have, so if you do 10, right, you can do 2 a day, 5 days a week. Does that make sense? How that's going to stagger out and work for you to be able to have those face-to-face. Guys, this book is an absolute gem. I've really I don't even believe I've done it justice as to how great of content this here. Really just scratched the surface of what's there. But the key takeaways that I want you to grab from this, actually, I'll let Kim go first. Key takeaways, and then I'll share there. Kim, key takeaways and what you've implemented into your business.
Key takeaways definitely are the Ford questions. I actually, being a bartender before, used to do that without knowing. That's how I do my business, because I don't like the selly part of it, you know. So that's how I have my business is based on referrals. It's from my clients just referring me to friends and family.
Mm-hmm. Having that conversation. Listen, the opportunities are endless. You don't have to buy any leads whatsoever. Everything that you need for your business is already there. Guy came on, and so he's brand new real estate agent, going to one of these conferences on the Ninja Selling, and they say, start building this database and putting these people in. And he says, I don't know nobody. I just moved to where I moved to, and where do I start? And he says, do you have Facebook? Yeah, I got Facebook. Go to Facebook and start building your database from your friends on Facebook. We all know people. I'm going to send you all the 50 steps to building your database. Once your database is built, okay, you've got all the names and numbers that you can possibly ever call, right? 200, 300 names is sufficient. You're going to be able to do $200,000, $300,000 a year consistently when you follow these steps. All right. Start with a morning routine. Now, Kim and I talked about this, and maybe it's something that you guys would be interested in. So, but you've got to reach out to us, because I've got to make sure that you want to do this. And we're talking about the affirmations, right, Kim?
Mm-hmm.
And having that 30 days of affirmations, right? And doing something together. If you're interested in that, all right, working together to really get into the mindset to start propelling your business into the 2021 that is going to be a fantastic year in real estate, I need you to text me, because if I email and text and then it's too many things to check. You have to text me and tell me that you're interested, because Kim and I are going to start this. All right. We're going to do 30 days. We're going to start, today's Thursday. We're going to start on probably tomorrow. That's how we do things around here. We don't delay. All right. We start tomorrow. Okay. If you're interested, you got to text me if you want to start this affirmation. We're going to be building each other up, right? Starting these morning routines, all right? And having these morning routines, being accountable to one another to actually do this work. Many, many people find success in real estate, and they find it in the way of building a great database, building relationships with people, maintaining those relationships, and a system that you do. You're fearful of a listing appointment, maybe because I don't have everything prepared yet. Don't worry. We talked about that last week. We're going to help you with that right there. You're fearful of what to say on the phone. Don't worry about that. We've got you today as we're talking about the forward and those questions that you're going to ask, right? Don't be afraid. Real estate is your friend, right? You've already got a bunch of friends. So let's go ahead and tap into that business that's there and help you to take 2021 to be the very best year in real estate that you've ever had. Any other comments before we wrap this up, Kim? I didn't give any time for questions. My apologies. Just was kind of just going. It was a lot. I'm telling you. Like, what do we got? What do we got? Amber, are we giving away a book today? I don't know where Amber is. Amber's muted. 300 is Felipe is saying. So that's the goal. You get $100 if you get 300 people in your database. There's already money to be made. Felipe's mic doesn't work. That's okay. He's having computer issues. So we're just going to have to let him go. I didn't see Amber giving away a book today. So I don't know. So maybe she'll send an email out and we'll let her do that. I want to thank Kim so much for joining me today and for sharing this. You know, I'll just share this and then we'll close. I found out about this book June 16th, I think it was. I went and looked it up last night. Like, when did, because this has been sitting on my nightstand for like 6 months. Okay. I found about this like in June because I texted my wife and I was like, buy this for me. I want it. And then it sat, and she bought it. And it sat on my nightstand for 6 months, right? And then I basically read almost the entire book in a week. That's how great it is. So I encourage you to grab a copy of this book. You can read it before the end of the year is out. You can start ninja selling right now over the holidays, and you can take your business to the absolute next level that it should be and could be. All we got to do is implement these simple tools right here. All right. No free book today, Amber says. So don't worry. They sell at Barnes & Noble. They sell them on Amazon and all that good stuff. Again, thank you so much, Kim. Thank you, everybody that came out and joined us today. I hope you're able to take a lot of nuggets from this, implement it into your business so you can find success in 2021.